Endurance Squad is training with a holistic edge. Plans for every kind of endurance athlete, plus yoga, mindset, and a team that's always in your corner. Join at YogiTriathlete.com/squad.
Like, how far are you willing to go? You're willing to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, drink your lemon water, drink your espresso, do your meditation. Like, how much do we have to do? And I think that is what you're kind of talking about too, like questioning, like, well, what is this all for? And if you don't have that purpose, then you're going to lose traction and momentum from those things I just talked about, because you'll move and shift to something else. Because maybe you need to go this way, or maybe we need to go this way.
Are you willing to just feel any feeling? Because when I'm feeling something that's an anxious feeling, or I'm feeling an angry feeling, or there's a belief under there. It's like the sponsor for the feeling, right? It's like the gas for your car. It's sponsoring the feeling that you're having. Without that belief, you may not have that feeling. So being able to just be willing to feel any feeling, for me, that's been like a massive step in moving through things that are familiar to me today, that were familiar to me when I was a teenager and didn't feel good. And it's like, whoa, those are still, like, there's embers there. Welcome back to the Yogi Triathlete Podcast. I'm Jess, I'm here with BJ, and it's just the two of us today, catching up, having a riff or two on topics that are hanging in our awareness, and just sharing with the community about what life is like behind, behind the microphone.
Yeah. Huh? Behind Yogi Triathlete.
Yeah, behind Yogi Triathlete. So we're here with Clark, and he's going to be 11 in December. He's 10 and a half. And oh my God, I feel like he's just getting sweeter and sweeter and sweeter by the day. Like, he just does these like super cute things that I don't even know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do with the emotion of how much, like, I love him. But he's still terrible. He's so bad.
He's the worst.
He's so bad, too. He's so bad.
He can be so bad.
He's just such a golden retriever. He's just, like, starving all the time. So that's, like, his biggest offense. I think that's his own. I mean, I don't even think it's a bad thing, except for when he gets, like, really close. Like, when I'm trying to eat, it's like really close. I can't even see the plate because his face is between me and the plate.
It's almost like, did he sabotage himself when he ate that cloth so we could tie his stomach so that eating too much wouldn't be a problem? Remember, God. We chose to do that?
Yeah. Well, what's that story? People might not know that story.
Yeah, Clark ate a towel while we were out of the house, and we didn't realize it for a little while until he wasn't able to eat or keep food down, and took him to the emergency vet, and the cloth had actually got entangled into his intestines. It wasn't something you could just pull out the mouth, which sometimes you can do. So we had to put him under, and they had to open him up and pull the cloth out. And then while they were in there, we had the option of...
For another $300, which is not a big deal when you're spending like
$300, yeah.
$9,000.
Was to attach a stomach, right? Wasn't it like attach it?
No, tack it.
Tack it.
So he doesn't get bloat, which is a common thing that Labradors and, will die from. It's like when the stomach twists, I guess. And so this would prevent it. And I kind of feel like that was a blessing in disguise, because the way he eats,
and what he eats, he may
have confronted that lethal condition called bloat. So anyway, he's here with us, and he's just the sweetest.
He's not going anywhere.
Okay, let's see. It's August. I feel like we've been wanting to record this podcast for a while now.
We've been talking offline, so many good conversations. I was thinking about that today on the treadmill. Like, you and I have had some, even just yesterday walking back, we're walking Clark. Like, we've had so many conversations offline.
What's one of the conversations? We'll expand on it.
Just real life, solid conversations about purpose, about staying flexible.
I just don't know how. I mean, maybe I'm just not as strong as I think I am, because I can't imagine if I didn't have this sense of purpose. Like, it really drives me. And I think that need for purpose has intensified as I learn more about the mind and just how that translates into human interactions and human actions, whether they're good or bad. And I've been both of those things, and lost in life and carrying too much and not realizing it and all of that. And I think that when I look at that and all that I've learned just from being an archaeologist of self and being in an experiment of one, it's like I need that purpose to keep moving forward, because there's so many days where I'm just like, what are we doing? What is this all for? What are we doing? What is this all for? And so having this purpose of, like putting out season 6 of the Awake Athlete podcast, documenting my journey to El Cruce, like it was just like, nobody's going to listen, nobody's going to care. And it's like, just stop with that. Stop with that. Just put it out there. And I just think purpose, at least for me, is super important, because it's not always easy. And there's so much flow and there's so much ease, and I love that too. But like I was on the trail this morning going up, and then I was going down, and I was like, yeah, that's it right there. Like nature, if you just observe nature, it will show you all the laws of life. What goes up must come down. So yeah, it can be, life is interesting. And I think purpose, at least for me, is massive. And I feel so grateful for YogiTriathlete that we were brave enough to, launch it, keep going. Yeah. So purpose.
Yeah.
Sure.
I have this, like, I've been journaling about this, but it's been like front and center. It's like, it comes up especially when I'm training, it's like, how far are you willing to go? Like, how far are you willing to go? And I don't have an answer as to like, well, what are we talking about here? Like to the end of life, to the end of this session, like what is the perspective there? Or what is the limiters? But I feel like, how far are you willing to go? And as you're talking about purpose, are you willing to get up again and drive to Escondido and go do Palomar again and again and again? Like, how far are you willing to go? You're willing to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, drink your lemon water, drink your espresso, do your bloom, do meditation. Like, how much do we have to do? And I think that is what you're kind of talking about too, like questioning, like, well, what is this all for? And if you don't have that purpose, then you're going to lose traction and momentum from those things I just talked about, because you'll move and shift to something else, because maybe you need to go this way, or maybe we need to go this way. But if you stay the course, and that's why I'm talking about how far am I willing to take this? Like, how far are you willing to go? How far are you willing to go to wake up every day and do mobility? Like, so far it's been about 3+ years of daily practice. Well, some would say that's enough. Now you can, but it feels good and it's on point with my purpose, which is to be my best self.
Yeah, and I think you're meeting yourself where you're at. When you were 30, you didn't, like, you just don't do that stuff. Well, yeah, like, because I think you can get away without doing it. Maybe you don't need it. Maybe there's other things that fill your time in your life. But I think it's also, I think that's a big thing that's been coming up in my training too, is like watching the parts of me that, sometimes they're not adapting from the weekend load. And it's like, oh, this little thing here. All right, well, let's meet the body where it's at. And sometimes we keep pushing, and sometimes we say, all right, let's swap a day. And I think that's like you're meeting yourself where you're at with like getting the mobility. And it's also your belief, right? Your belief is that it helps you.
What you believe.
Again, what's it all for? Because It's all in our minds.
So whatever you believe is going to be true. Whatever you believe. Like, if you're focusing all your attention on a belief, that is true to you. Like, you talk about that a lot. Like, it's true to you. Like, in your world, in your mind, that is an absolute. But you created that belief, right? We create all our beliefs. So we better be.
That sounds like something I would have said a few years ago.
You got to be careful about what we send into the belief pool.
Well, I think that's a staunch reminder. I think, well, I always go back to that. Well, you keep talking because I'm going to pull it up. It's one of my faves.
Yeah, belief. Like, do I believe I'm getting stronger and faster as I age? I do. That's my belief. Whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't matter to me.
If it's, but if you believe, you just said, if you believe it, it's true. Right. So it's true.
So it's true to me.
Right. It's true to you.
But then what I see, the external world, society, whatever, has a different categorized belief, and they tend to put, as we see in Instagram reels, like statistics and data behind it. When you reach the age of X, then this will happen, and you need to have this medication or do this. And I've had this, if I'm speaking personally, like I've had this chip on my shoulder that I just don't conform to that, to most of those things. So my belief has now become who I am, which is what you see today. Someone who believes that anything is possible, someone who believes that there's more potential to tap into, someone who believes that really anything we want, we can have. I do believe all of that. But it stems from, month, year, decade after decade of training the mind to be awake to these things. And I was thinking about that too. I know I'm going off, but I was thinking about that too on the treadmill today. Like all of what we're talking about, you can't see it unless you're awake and ready. If you're not observing and seeing how the mind and your patterns and your habits and beliefs are, how were you ever going to be able to change them if you want to change them? You have to be awake, like we say, awake to these moments when you can see the stuff that maybe you don't want and then ready with tools to make the change.
And what I've discovered, especially over this past year, is because I feel like I've been going through, just like so much growth, huge, like inner growth. And it's like been really painful. And is this willingness to just feel any feeling. Like this, like, are you willing to just feel any feeling? Because when I'm feeling something that's whatever, I'm feeling an anxious feeling, or I'm feeling an angry feeling, or like there's a belief under there, right? It's it's like the sponsor for the feeling, right? It's like giving, it's like the gas for your car. It's sponsoring the feeling that you're having. Without that belief, you may not have that feeling. So being able to just be willing to feel any feeling, for me, that's been like a massive step in moving through things that are familiar to me today, that were familiar to me when I was a teenager and didn't feel good. And it's like, whoa, those are still, like, there's embers there. But I've found that just being willing to feel the feeling, and I've talked about this for years, and doing that independent of whatever the commentary is about the feeling, it's interesting to have this inquiry of like, what do I need to believe to feel this way? And then you kind of see like what that is underneath it. And then I think some people stop there. Well, like, okay, I figured out what it is, but like that's going nowhere until you feel it. And I feel like I've just been really feeling it. And so I do this numerology calendar through my teacher, and there's always like the personal year and the universal year. And I remember at the beginning of this year, it was like, this is a year of like spiritual growth, like get down to business with your inner self, like clean up your inner house, let go of what doesn't serve you. And that is a really painful process. So it's been accelerated, but I feel like through it forced me to feel things that perhaps I wasn't feeling, that maybe I thought I was feeling, but I wasn't feeling. And I think this idea of like, when you just look at it and you just feel it, it's like when you were a kid and you went sledding and then you go back to the house where the hill was 30 years later and you're like, that was the hill. That's not even a hill. Same kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I think you can feel it, truly feel it, up until a belief or a thought comes in that associates with that feeling. So you can feel all these things. Isn't this what you're saying? I'm
saying that there's a belief underneath the feelings. There's a belief that's fueling the feelings.
Yeah.
Right. So if there's an uncomfortable feeling, I ask myself, what do I need to believe in order to feel this way? I get to the belief, but that doesn't really do much. I need to feel the feeling and let it pass through me and let it just extinguish without trying to.
Well, that's it right there. Yeah. Without trying to
push it away or change it or
Right.
make it like that I'm not experiencing it.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying is like just having this willingness to feel any feeling. If you have a willingness to feel any feeling, like I think you're going to be golden. It's going to be hard, but it won't be hard for long because then you'll just realize like this is just energy in motion, which is all an emotion is. It's just energy in motion. It's moving. And I always think like intellectually I grasped this first, and then of course you have to go through the somatic piece of it. You have to feel it. It's like, yeah, it's moving through. It's on the move. Why am I going to like wrap my arms around it and cling to it and make it stay? I want to let it move through me. And so letting it move through you is number one, being willing to feel any feeling that's moving through you and do that independent of the commentary about that feeling.
I was just listening to a podcast and he mentioned Tom Cruise, and everybody's like, "Oh, Tom Cruise, you know, how are you able to do all these stunts and these crazy things?" Because he does all his own stuff or most of his own stuff. And he said, and I think I actually saw this on a reel too somewhere back. And people ask, you know, aren't you afraid of all this? And he goes, "I'm not afraid of not being afraid." So he's not afraid of being afraid.
Yeah, he's not afraid of being afraid.
Right.
Of feeling being afraid.
Right. So he's not afraid of that feeling that he has of what most people had as fear or whatever's going to happen. He's made a relationship with it where it isn't foreign to him.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, I'm kind of saying the same thing.
You're saying the same thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is just a reframe. It's just a reframe.
Yeah. Yeah, which is a fantastic mindset technique. Reframe.
Right.
I've been talking a lot about that with my athletes. Like, okay, what's the other story? All right, you just told me that story. Is there another story you could tell about that situation? And I think for so many and for so long, I think me too, like, no, I definitely know me too. Like, I didn't realize there was another story to tell. But yeah, what's another story you could tell about that situation? Because it's whatever the story is that you're relaying is the story you've told yourself.
Yeah. I know we're good. This is good though. Like, watch the words.
Well, this is a good example of the conversations we have when we're walking the dog to the beach.
Well,
we actually do have these conversations.
Watch the words that we use.
Oh yeah. Which brings me back to.
Like, am I saying, oh, well, I'm injured. I'm injured. And then you say like, well, how long are you going to hold on and keep talking about that story? Because haven't you been able to do things? And it's like, oh yeah, I have. So why am I sharing that story? So share the story that you wish others to share.
Right.
And it isn't fake it until you make it. I want to clarify that.
No, that doesn't work.
All right, what do you got?
It doesn't work because we live in a vibrational universe and everything is energy. And so when it's all broken down, spirituality, whatever, it's all science. And so yeah, the faking till you make it doesn't really work because there's a force there. I don't know. I mean, sometimes you got to kick yourself in the butt to get going. But so find the way that works for you and maybe fake it till you make it works. But the problem with fake it till you make it is that it's like saying love and light when you have hate in your heart. Like you got to deal with the hate in the heart. And how do you deal with the hate in the heart is you got to relax. You got to feel that hate. You gotta feel that anger. You gotta just relax and breathe and let it move through you. And that's how you can make it. You don't have to fake it. It's just feeling it. It's like feel it till you make it. It's probably a better thing. All right. So this is from the Upanishads, right? Which is a collection of over like 200 ancient Indian texts, crucial part of Vedic literature. So this is ancient stuff. And this is one of my favorite things. Actually, this is one of the things that I was asking you about this the other day. Have there been times in your life, just moments that like had such a big shift or influence about who you thought you were in this life? I remember we were talking about that the other day. And reading this for the first time was like, this was something I'll never forget. And something that's really kept me with purpose. And it goes like this. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits. They become character. Watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. So they were telling us this a long time ago. Watch your words and watch your thoughts, and don't try and stop them, but notice what comes up and see if you can just let that energy in motion keep moving along.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
switch
good.
gears?
Yeah, we can switch gears.
All right, Tour de France.
Yeah.
What was one of your favorite parts of the Tour de France? We were like totally addicted to the Tour de France.
Oh, man, what's one of my favorites?
And now I'm like so pre-game on the Vuelta.
All right.
Which is like in 10 days.
I got to think about this.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. There's so many great moments.
There's so many great moments.
Just what's the first one you think
Healy.
of?
Like, I just love Healy's persistence throughout the whole, not just one stage, but the whole tour. He was just like, he was just there.
He was
Just
like that
slightly
last
there.
year too.
Yeah.
It just didn't result in anything.
Yeah.
If you watch 2024 Tour de France, Healy was so scrappy. He was scrapping all over the place, fighting and breaking away. And he did the same thing this year. It just, he had momentum, right? And it just yielded. I just love the switch from when he's in the yellow and I think they're going for like the stage win or something. And then it was all just about like,
keep him in the yellow as long as you
let's keep
can.
him in the yellow as long as we can.
Which was one more day, I think, right? Or
It's
two
so
more days.
cool.
It was that long. I think that was really cool. I think the whole EF was awesome. And he wouldn't have had that if Carapaz didn't miss out on the tour. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we just don't know,
It could have
right?
been a different. This is what's so great about the tour. I know you'll probably go into it, but the dynamics are changing all of the time. They have a game plan, but it day to day, moment to moment, climb, descent, like it's constantly changing of what you need to do to get the most out of it for your team. And so, yeah. But go ahead. What's your moment?
Well, can I give a quick little one-on-one on the Tour de France? Okay, so the Tour de France is one of 3 Grand Tours. You have the Giro d'Italia, the Tour de France, and the Volta a España, which is coming up in 10 short days. And so what makes it a Grand Tour, right? It's 3 weeks, it's 21 stages. So there's an overall race, which is the general classification race. Then there's other races. So the general classification race for the Tour de France is a yellow jersey. Then you have the sprinter race, which is a green jersey. You have the King of the Mountains or the Queen of the Mountains, if it's the Femmes Tour, which is the polka dot jersey. You have the white jersey, which is the best young rider. And is that it? Are those the jerseys?
Those are the jerseys, but what else is there?
Then there's 21 races within the 21 days. So there's the overall race, which would be the general classification, which is the GC, which is probably what most people know about. The guy in the yellow jersey is winning the race. But then you have 21 races within the one race, and so every day is an opportunity to win a stage. Now, there's some teams that are just going for the GC, the general classification. There's some who have the double agenda, which is like a green jersey or a polka dot jersey plus the GC, or stage wins. There's some teams that are just going for stage wins. They don't have a general classification guy, or what we would call in the Tour de France, we call him, at least in our house, we call it the man. Like, who's the man on EF, right? But then you've got, teams that are controlling the race. Like, they'll literally block the road. They won't let anyone go in the breakaway, or they won't chase the breakaway if there's guys in there they don't really care about. But if a GC guy has a chance to move up and other riders are threatened, then that team may move to the front and try and chase them down. So it's all, and then there's team tactics, and there's guys that are just in charge of going back to get all the bottles for the riders. You've got stops at the team car, which, this road is filled with motorbikes, team cars, 100 riders, or more than that, actually. What else? There's penalties every day. That they get assessed penalties. on different things, literally littering or sticky bottles, which is like when you go to get a bottle from your race director out of the car and you're just like hanging onto it forever because the car is basically pushing you along the road. I mean, there's just so much that goes into the Tour de France. Anything that you want to add to that?
Yeah, each day they have the most aggressive rider.
Oh, I love that one.
Which is cool. And he gets to stand... Combative rider. He gets to the start line with the 4 jerseys as well. If somebody owns 2 jerseys at the moment, they take the higher one, so the yellow, and then if they're also the youngest rider, that goes to the second person who's in the competition, which I think is pretty cool. And then they also have team competitions. So at the end of the day, they have who was the most, who was the top ranking team. I think it's the top 3 riders that finish the highest on the day allows them to gain a number of points for the team. And then at the end of the whole tour, they have the team as well that comes out on top. So there's so many competitions within the competitions. And it's also building cred for a lot of these riders as they navigate their careers as cyclists. Because being in the Tour, I mean, if you're in the Tour de France, like that's legit. That is big time stuff. So you can build really powerful careers just by being, what Jess was talking about, a domestique, which is someone who helps the GC rider or the people who are going for points or jerseys. You can build a career on that. But you can also find that you may have a skill, and this is what we're seeing, is some of the sprinters can now actually ride the Tour and win stages that aren't sprint stages and also finish high up. And so riders are becoming more well-rounded. So yeah, it's a pretty exciting thing. You just really like explain the whole thing, and you're just so excited about it. We have a Flow Bikes subscription now. So we definitely watch a lot of cycling, you more so than me. But what are you looking forward to with the Vuelta coming up?
Oh, well, Richard Carapaz, who wasn't able to be in the Tour, but he was in the Giro. And the Giro, if you have a chance to watch the Giro from 2025, watch the Giro. It's so good. And Carapaz was like in this stalemate with the young rookie, Isaac Del Toro, who is like, he's this young guy and he has a chance to basically win the Giro, but then Richard's like got all this experience. He's like, I'm not going to help you win the Giro. And they're like in this stalemate on like the second to last stage. And then Simon Yates from Jumbo-Visma ends up winning it. Like, it's just so good. So Richard, who's really like he's a wild animal. Like they can't, Jonathan Vaughters, who is one of the sports directors and started EF, he talks about Richard and how like he doesn't want the data, he doesn't use power, he doesn't use heart rate, like he just wants to ride, and he's kind of this wild animal, and you have to just let him be a wild animal. And he couldn't start the Tour because he had like an intestinal infection, so he's going to be lining up at the Vuelta. So I'm excited about that. I think one of my highlights, and I've talked about it so many times in this house, is the moment where like the yellow jersey, there's like the yellow jersey and the top guys. And one of those top guys, surprisingly, was Oscar Only from Picnic Post-Denel. It's like his first Tour de France, and all of a sudden he's like top 5 in the GC. And so there's this one stage where he crashes, and Frank Vanderbroek, who's also on his team, who I love. And now I watch the Picnic Post-Denel video on YouTube, and now I love him even more because I realize he's just like, he's kind of like a wild animal. And so anyway, there's this scene where Frank goes back and the Picnic Post-Denel guys go back and they get Oscar and they bring him back up to the front. So this is like the team tactics. And they basically just blow past Tadej Pogačar and Vingegaard and all the other like top GC guys like in this Picnic Post-Denel like freight train. And they just caught it from up above. And it was just such a cool moment because these guys are all like super young and, they just weren't afraid of the experience. And actually that brings me to another piece of it, is that there's intimidation that happens too. Like this one guy wanted to move himself up in the GC, and so he's out in the breakaway, and everyone in the breakaway is like bullying him, telling him to go back because he was going to screw up their chances to basically win the stage on a breakaway. And he's just like, I'm not going back. Like, this is a bike race. I'm trying to move up. I'm trying to like win, I'm trying to do the best I can. And that's what they're paid to do. So there's intimidation and there's emotions. And I saw it in the Tour de Femmes stage race as well, which started basically on the last day of the Tour de France, the men's race. Just these intimidation intimidation. And I love that too, because then you've got like the sports directors, they go to the team radio and you hear the sports directors and they're just like, get up there, ride. Like, it doesn't matter who's telling you or trying to bully you. Like, this is what we do, is we ride our bikes, and that's what they're paid for. So I don't know. There's so much I'm excited about. What are you excited about for the Vuelta?
I don't know, just another 21-day race. And a 14 or not 14. It's got the most elevation of any Vuelta ever, I believe, put together.
Which is going to be perfect for Carapaz, because he grew up at high altitude in Ecuador.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm excited for. I just love the climbing. Yeah, I love the climbing stages.
And we've talked about this before, like, but if you were a tour, like, what would you be?
I'd want to be a climber, either the polka dot guy or a domestique. Someone who could just like hit tempo up a mountain for like an hour.
I know, I freaking love that.
Love that. Like, and then peel off because you're like toast. And there's like a couple miles left where the GC guy can just go handle it himself. But yeah, I definitely like that role. What would you do?
Yeah, I think I'd want to be the man. I think I'd want to be like the one that had the one on their jersey and had people working as a team, for that. I think that would be I would want to be there, I think. I think I might be a little restless being a domestique. I could get it done, but I think I'd always want to be the leader.
Here's some insight. I love knowing that I could be the GC guy, but I want to be the domestique.
Yeah.
It's like the knowing, for me, the knowing is enough.
I know, that's your silent assassin
Totally.
self.
Totally.
Yeah, nobody should underestimate you ever, because...
or you.
Or me. Thank you very much.
Yes.
But it did lead me to a big dream. I was like, I want to be on one of those buses, like, because I have some weird infatuation with like tractor trailers and buses, and then I love that you get to like see inside the buses, the tour buses. Like,
that's why you like Hannah Walker. She's getting on those buses.
But the big dream was like, I want to be on one of those buses, like leading these guys in breath work before they go out there and ride. And I think, so I talked to somebody about that like years ago, and they said, well, there's too much ego. They couldn't do that. It would make them soft. And I'm like, I think we're underestimating the power of calm. It has nothing to do with not being competitive. It has everything to do with being anchored to something that's like completely immovable and unchanging when everything else is like total chaos in the body and the mind, and you're just like hammering.
Yeah, I'm just making a note because I want to talk about that when we get to our training.
All right, well, let's, I'm sure everybody's like, okay, we're good with the Tour de France download, but I am addicted.
And it's different than the Netflix series. The Netflix series is really just, it's cutting parts from 21 days with 6 to 8 hours of riding and coverage. Like, it's different.
I do like a good old Little Trek lead-out train as well. There was a lot of those highlights. I do love Mathieu Van der Poel leading out Philipsen on Alpecin de Koenig. Like, I just love, I feel that ego, and like I actually really like it. Like, I feel that adrenaline. I love that adrenaline. But I mean, these guys are coming in, and the women too. Like, the women are so freaking fierce. To be full transparency, this is the first time I watched the whole full Tour de France Femmes this year, and it's the woman who won, Pauline, they're calling her Queen Pauline Prevot. There's another name in there. She has like a hyphenated last name, but that girl's a goat. Like, she's won the cyclocross world championship, she's multiple mountain bike world championship, like Olympics. She's a beast. And this was her first tour, if I'm correct. And she won the whole thing.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was really good.
Pretty awesome.
All right. What's next?
Let's talk about training.
Okay.
Because you've got some news, the course. was released.
Well, I think if you want to really hear about the stages, so the stages for El Cruce were released, and I just released a podcast yesterday talking about them. So that's episode 5 on the Awake Athlete Podcast, season 6. So check it out. And I talk about how, what the initial reaction was from the mind, like going from the known to the unknown. Like all of a sudden I'm seeing like what I'm going to be traversing. Like starts with just a monster climb. Second day is not to be underestimated. It's a constant up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, like relentless. And the third day is another monster climb. So it looks technical, it looks steep, it looks very legit. So go check out that episode. I mean, I've got 5 episodes up as of today, and they're all like about 20 minutes each. So you can binge that on a long run, no prob. Yeah.
Well, how's training going?
I think training is going really well. And that's not because we decided what I was going to do in the second 8-week block, and it's all been like, check the boxes. There's been a lot of like, all right, like this doesn't feel like it's fully adapted from the weekend. Like I'm feeling like I just got hit by a truck. All right, what should I do today? Like, all right, well, we just recently swapped days. We swapped Thursday for Friday. It was such a smart idea. And so it's not like I'm dragging along. I think the way that we have, I have approached this training is answering one question all the time. If there's any question at all, is what's the best thing for my training right now? And most of the time it is just like execute the workout as described. But there has been some times where this past Monday, I was like, my God, I feel amazing. I don't feel like I did anything this weekend. So, I went a little bit deeper on the weights, and I went a little bit longer on the recovery run. I actually did a longer hike, and then Tuesday I still felt good. And then kind of went full, and then it hit Wednesday. Because you always know it's going to hit, right? Like the load, it's going to hit. And then I needed to kind of take it down a little bit and give myself a bigger span of rest, and ended up doing a bike and strength last night, which gave me space between finishing my run on Wednesday and ramping back up. And then today getting up at 4 and hitting the trails first thing. And I think one of the things that I'm realizing, it's like we think about rest, we think about recovery, and stay fluid with that, because it doesn't always mean a day off. It doesn't always mean a day off. Just like every little thing you feel doesn't always mean an injury, even if it's there for a little bit. It doesn't always mean it's an injury. Watch that association. That's a dangerous association. Same thing with this. Like there would have been so many opportunities that I would have missed to capitalize or to back off and work with my mind around that if we weren't always answering this question, what's the best thing? And sometimes it's just a bigger span in between the workouts. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a day off. And when I look at those profiles, like that keeps me awake. Not awake, but like awake. Like I'm awake. Like this training is so important. Answering that question is so important. And then taking the actions that reinforce the answer of what is the best thing for my training. Like that keeps me awake and ready for this race. And so maybe sometimes it does mean a day off, but rarely it does. Even I think one day, like I ended up doing just like a spin down the coast, but it's few and far between. I'm getting some really quality stuff in, some good climbing, and I think it's going on. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're navigating the day-to-day really, really well, even though you have human moments where the mind wants more, which you've talked about in an episode, and being okay with what manifests, but also like watch what happens in the morning, in the early afternoon, and then watch what happens around 4:00 when you're like, okay, well now it feels like I can go out for a run. Okay, you just had to wait it out, not deciding in the morning like I'm not doing anything today. Just let's see how the day goes, because you had that space, and then you went out and did something. So it's like it's watching that. It's acutely watching and monitoring that, but it's also a testament to like, that you have me as a resource at any time to bounce things off of, or to shift things, or to see what what I see from the outside. Am I still moving myself forward? You always ask. And I said, yeah, absolutely. In this instance, yes. So I think it's important to have that outside rumble strips to keep you, not that you're off course, but to just to give you some, what is it called?
Guidance.
It's guidance. Coaching, all of it. Affirmation, confirming that what you're saying is the right way to go. Because the mind, for those, I would say that don't train it as consistently, it will bounce around more frequently as to, was that the right choice? Was that the right choice? Like, should I have done it? Should I not have done it? Like, oh.
Having a more like connected relationship with just that inner compass. Like yesterday was a great example of like just kind of waiting it out and just being like, all right, I'm going to see how the body, like even Wednesday night, like I'm going to see how the body feels in the morning. And then it was in the morning, I was like, well, I've got the whole day. Like, let's see how it feels later. And not having this hard line of like, well, I'm not going to work out at night. Well, then that's going to back me right up to tomorrow morning, and you just don't know how that you're going to feel. You don't know how that's going to benefit you. You just don't know. So taking it, presence is everything. And I knew yesterday, like I had that connection to that inner compass that was like, it's not a day off. Like, it's not a day off. I think it's just a matter of switching, of not running today and switching Thursday and Friday and getting on the trails tomorrow and get up and get on the trails. And when I woke up this morning, like I felt better. The body felt more adapted, but I had this like weird, like deep pain down the front of my foot. And I was like, okay, like let's keep moving forward. Get to the trail, be on the trail by 6 a.m. I was on the trail by 6 a.m. And I started walking and I did a little running. I was like, I feel fine. I feel absolutely fine. I had a brilliant workout today, really good quality. And I think that's also what the stages are helping me with, is really pinpointing the training. Like today was a good prep for like day 2, which is just up, down, up, down, up, down, relentless.
Yeah, it's really good. You're definitely coming up to that next level. How far are you willing to go, right? Because we're both seasoned athletes, 20 plus years. But we're still fine-tuning and honing in on keeping the possibilities open to what the training will look like, and then stay in the course of what we truly believe in, which is like consistency. Like stay consistent, stay present.
And I feel really strong. Right? I said that on the podcast I just released. It was just like I feel fit and I feel strong, and that moves the throttle forward for me like nothing else. Like I love feeling fit and strong. I love feeling fit and strong in this body. And I've had over all these years, I remember specifically going into Ironman Cozumel in 2015. And I remember thinking like, I feel rickety. Like I've got the endurance, but I just didn't feel like I had the strength. And that was a good experience because I started doing more like core and getting stronger from the inside. And I kind of continued that. But leading into this, I've started doing, I'm in the gym twice a week, and then I'm doing my favorite TRX with bands with my girl on YouTube. I freaking love that workout. And I've had thoughts of like, why are you doing this upper body workout? Like this race is all about legs. But now that I'm running with my poles a lot more, I'm realizing like, oh, I'm so glad I have this strength in my upper body. Yeah. All right, let's talk about anything more in my training?
Talk about strength. Any fueling? Like, how's your fueling? How's your fueling in training? And then what recover? Do you feel recovery is going well? I know you're always walking out of here with a shaker when you go to the trails and stuff. Yeah. I always have my shaker. I mean, it's like yesterday. Was it yesterday or Wednesday? It was Wednesday. You came home and you're like, a lot, like all day. Go ahead. You were like, I've got a whole food salad for you. And I was like, oh my God. And I just wanted to like dive into it. But I'm like, I'm running. Like, that's not going to be the best thing. It's going to have hummus on it. Like, that's not going to be the best thing for my run. So it's being conscious about that. And instead I had, I don't know, a banana or like a piece of toast. And you're just like, oh my God, I'm just eating all these carbs. But that's what I needed for that run. And then I came home and I had the salad. It was so good. So I feel like my fueling's been really good. I feel like
as far as food goes, like getting that recovery in and the recovery meal and protein. And I feel in flow with that. It's, you got to stay on top of it though, especially if you're doing a morning workout and an afternoon workout. If that afternoon workout is a bike, it's a different story. If it's a run, like, don't have the hummus. Like, don't do the things that you know aren't going to feel good. It's the worst. So it's even self-control.
Even more reason to get that first workout done early in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, it felt so good to be done with my workout at 8 a.m. this morning. It was so great. And it was painful to get up at 4, but so what?
So what?
So what? So what?
So what?
I don't know if we talked about it on this podcast or we talked about it, like, what does it matter? If I'm getting up at 4, I'm getting up at 5. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to wake up naturally at 5. I'm not going to wake up naturally at 4. I just don't. So, like, I'm going to be jarred awake at 4 or 5. I'm not going to really feel much difference between 4 and 5.
And we've done that. We've done that plenty of times, 4 or 5, and even 6,
and
maybe.
I'm still like,
still the same.
The bed is still comfortable.
It's not like
my ankle's still stiff. Like,
oh my God, I'm in a new body. I feel so.
It doesn't matter.
Amazing.
It's ass early. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like if you get up at 4 or 5 or like
4:30 or 4:45.
I love time in the morning. So I get up absurdly early so I have extra time to sip my coffee.
It's so nice. It's so nice not to rush. Not rushing. It's such a calming, peaceful experience.
All right, let's talk about your training. I'm just realizing I have a call in 9 minutes.
Okay.
Go.
Training's going.
What are you training for?
I'm training for my fastest Ironman ever. I'm training for something I've never done before. A few things I've never done before. Winning my age group at an Ironman, biking 5 hours at an Ironman, running 320 at an Ironman. So there's a bunch of things that I'm going for that I've never done before, which is awesome. I'd love it. But I gave myself space as I reflect upon planning this all out. Like after Kona, I gave myself space before I did another Ironman. I gave a whole year, which hasn't been the pattern lately. I've been kind of racing a lot. So I just gave myself time. And I haven't had anything since, Massachusetts really in June. So I've got months of just banked fitness, building.
Except for the Solana Beach Triathlon, which wrecked you.
Oh my God, it wrecked me. So why did it wreck me? That was a fun race, actually. Super fun. I don't think we talked about that.
No, that was like, let's go home and record a podcast. Yeah. And here we are like a month later.
Let me tell you what happened. We're going to do this local race down the street. It's, 10 miles down the street, roughly. And since it's a sprint, I told Jess, let's bike down there early in the morning, do the race, and then bike home. So we made it a bigger day. And the day before, I went out and I did Palomar the day before, which was pretty cool. And I did Fiesta the Wednesday before, which was awesome. But we got down to the race. We both had amazing races. We both won our age groups by like 2 or 3 minutes, I think. And as you know, I haven't been running speed or super blazing paces. You haven't either. You're not doing like speed, big speed work.
I was pretty impressed with my run.
Yeah. So I had an amazing race. I was first out of the water, which I've never done before, and that was super fun. I caught a wave. All this open water swimming I've been doing paid off. I biked with my new Delta Speed TT bars, which I laid down a pretty strong bike. No one passed me. And then I ran 6:15 miles for a 5K, which is absurd because I haven't run near that at all in any running or training I've done in the past few months. And I felt amazing. It was so cool. Until the day after, my legs were wrecked. It was like I did an Ironman. So what I attribute that to is just that pounding of running, the constant pounding. And I don't have that in my legs. I can still run short and fast for, a brief period of time, but it's going to catch up. So really good. It was a fun race. Didn't you have a good time? I really did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a great time. I loved it. I had a proper brawl around the first buoy. I haven't had that in a while. I was like, yeah, girls, okay, let's brawl. You want to fight? You want to punch? Okay. So that was kind of fun. Yeah. Keep going.
right.
You're a little bit more in your training.
So I've got this goal of really biking the fastest I've biked, and so that this is a perfect time because I'm not running how I have run in the past, right? So the past is great to remember. It's not really ideal to dwell in. I'm a new person. This is a new experience, and you build into a race, and you have to embrace that when you're going for something you've never done before. You really have to embrace that. So cycling a lot, 10 to 15 hours a week, and my typical rides is once a month, maybe twice a month. I try to hit Fiesta Island to do intervals in the position, aero position, for an extended period of time, which has been something that has been my Achilles heel. I haven't been able to hold power. I lose power in the glutes, like trying to actually push it in that position. And Arizona is a very flat course compared to others. So Fiesta Island is 4 miles around, and you stay in aero position, and you can go round and round and round for hours. And what I'm discovering is that finally this week, I did it on Wednesday, and I was able to really engage the bones, not muscles, which is something Lawrence Van Lignen had planted into my brain a few years ago. Use bones, not muscles, bones, not muscles. And also to piggyback what we were talking about with finding calm and putting out a hard effort. It doesn't have to be chaotic. For so often I would shift back and forth, like you got to grind and move and shift and really try to push the pedals. What I was able to do on Wednesday was literally just stay calm in the upper body and just really push down on the pedals. And so when my power dropped, my target was 200 to 210 watts. When my power dropped to like 194, 193, immediately with an intentional focus of just pushing down the pedals a little bit more, I was able to bring it right back up super quick. So I ended up finishing Wednesday's session at 210 watts, which is more than I need to push. And 24 miles an hour, something like 24 miles an hour on Fiesta. I don't need to go that fast at Arizona.
Why not?
Because I would not be able to run off of the 24 miles an hour.
Well, we shall see.
We shall see. So the other session I've been doing is Palomar, and I've gotten creative about Palomar. I'm now doing... Palomar Mountain is the mountain that I bike often. It's my playground. It's 5,000 feet up. It's about 30 miles or 50 miles from here. So I drive to it and I do this ride. But now I've gotten into what we call the double dip now. And the double dip plus observatory is now even more epic. That gets me to 10,000 feet of climbing in 6 hours, 70 something miles. On my TT bike. I don't have a road bike. I got to keep bringing that into perspective. I don't have a road bike. I've got a TT bike with an 1128 on the back, and I'm climbing 10,000 feet every weekend. And I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. So this magical combination of Fiesta Island intervals and climbing a lot of elevation and vert, I think is really a sweet spot for me right now. And just to quickly touch upon running, I've got my guru Lawrence in my court, and I've got this approach, which I'll share. I'm not going to share it now, but share it as it progresses. But just finished up a run on the treadmill for an hour, and feeling good. And I think what we were talking about before, not every injury or sensation is relevant to what happened in the past. Like, how often do we hear athletes say, when I did this before, this is what happened? Leaving that behind. And when you make that shift, there's a weight that's dropped and a freedom and space that's created and a lightness that happens. And this has been a transformative week for me in terms of running. I don't feel things I've felt in the past. I actually recall a moment yesterday when I was walking up and down the stairs in the morning, and I had just felt solid. Like you were sharing, you just felt strong. I feel solid, like in my legs and hips and glutes. Like I just feel strong as I walk. So I celebrated that moment, actually, like took a moment of thank you is something I do quite often, because to have that feeling of not having sensation, but to feel together is far and few between. So I celebrate those moments.
Is it really far and few between?
It's it's what we focus on.
Yeah,
so
I don't think it is.
The more I celebrate it, I believe the more it's coming into fruition.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, right? What we hear, right? So I hear you say all the time, like, I feel fine. I feel great. Like, I just did the double dip. I just did the double dip plus observatory, and I feel amazing. Like, I just did this. I just pushed 210. So it's, yeah.
See, but that's perspective. Like, what you hear and what I see, right? It's belief. So
perspective.
All right. I know we got to wrap this up.
Yep.
So yeah, that's where training's at. Feel pretty good.
Awesome.
Go after something big. Denzel Washington's mom said, in order to do something you haven't done, you need to do something you've never did.
There you go. All right. Mrs. Washington.
Yeah.
You go.
All right. What else?
That's it. We got to wrap it up.
All
right. We'll be back here soon, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Let us know what you want us to dive into. Check out the Awake Athlete Podcast, Season 6. And if you haven't binged the first 5 seasons, definitely binge the first 5 seasons. What?
And if you're looking to race Ironman Oceanside in 7 months, join the squad or one-on-one coaching, and let's make this the biggest Yogi Triathlete community event ever.
Yeah. If you listen to this podcast, you've been hearing about Endurance Squad, just go check it out. If you've been thinking about it, you've been thinking long enough. Just go check it out. We got a great community in there. It's building. And and these ground floor athletes are getting to say, hey, we want this plan. And we go, okay, we'll create it for you. So we're building the library, new plans and classes added every month. Check it out. There's no obligation. Sign up. You can quit the next day if you want. But we say just stay in.
Why not?
Yeah, it's a great community. All right. Thanks so much. We'll be back here soon. If you're enjoying the Yogi Triathlete Podcast, you'll love our other show, Awake Athlete. 5 complete seasons, short, potent, no surface chatter episodes to train the mind like you train the body. Season 6 is live now. Search for Awake Athlete wherever you get your podcasts and start listening today.